We met John Picking outside of his old business, Downbeat Bar on 16th and McGraw. He recalls the moment it could have went up in flames.
A major carried a firebomb down there, and he put his arm up, and Kenslow, Man Murphy, they called him Kenslow, said, "Don't move your arm or I'll shoot you." And Major didn't move his arm, and my building went through the riot without any damage.
Whether you call it the riot or rebellion, many remember the civil unrest that began at 12th and Claremont 50 years ago as if it were yesterday.
During the day, I was able to go up to Central High School, and then I can see the tanks. First time I've ever seen a tank before, and all the artillery.
Albert Ramsey was 17 years old at the time and living on 14th and Glen, a stone's throw away from the uprising. About 50 years ago, there were the riots down on 12th and Claremont that started over there.
I was in the operating room at Metropolitan Hospital. I was one of the first blacks to be in the operating room in nursing here.
Ophelia Northcross lives on Longfellow.
And I could look out the window in between surgeries and see people stealing. Because that's what they bust the windows for.
People took advantage of the situation. You got people who never had nothing, breaking in stores, buying furniture. They had good housekeeping. Stealing.
Yeah.
You know, they could not afford furniture. So if you can't afford certain things, when it's an opportunity like Hurricane Katrina.
The rebellion was, many would say, the single most defining factor in the city's decline. Detroit burned for days, and by the time the smoke cleared, more than 7,000 people were arrested. Nearly 1,400 buildings burned, and 43 people were dead. Historians point to racial discrimination, segregated housing, and the destruction of black businesses and neighborhoods as causes for the civil unrest. But police violence, more than any of those factors, was at the heart of the outrage.
And I done seen the police beat the hell out of people. Beat them unbelievable, and enjoy beat them.
My friends and everything, they would tell me how they were harassed, how their fathers were harassed.
Your parents could be driving down the street, and the police didn't like your father's new car. We'd go there and degrade your father, search him, search your mother. Just put his hands all through her hair and say, "Let me see if something hiding there."
You can only oppress people so long. You kick a dog around long enough, dog is either gonna bite you or do what? Run away.
But just as police brutality played a crucial role in the uprising, Larry Mungo is adamant the city's black upper class at the time was equally culpable.
The black bourgeois was constantly those who was connected with the white power structure and telling them, and I'm gonna use the words of the 60s, oh, the Negroes are happy, they are all right. The black bourgeois, even today, do not go spend 2 minutes with the black underclass.
So the people just read what they did, they fought back.
In whatever way they could.
Whatever way they could.
As Detroiters reflect on the city's past, some are pessimistic about their place in its future.
I don't think the city's concerned about getting white folk to move back in. And basically, the people who are here, that's been here for the last 50 years, there doesn't seem to be any hope for us.
In my honest opinion, not only could it happen again, but you're dealing with a different type of person out here on the streets now. So
more dangerous now.
Absolutely. Instead of bricks and bottles, you're dealing with people, man, who shoot it out with the police for getting pulled over because they have no car insurance.
As many of you know, there were several instances of civil unrest in black communities in cities across the country during the 60s. Perhaps at the forefront of then Mayor Jerome Kavanaugh's mind was the one in Harlem in 1964. He was working hard to keep that from happening here in Detroit. And with that being said, I want to read you an excerpt from a book called Violence in the Model City: The Kavanaugh Administration, Race Relations, and the Detroit Riots of 1967. It reads, frustrated by the events that had shattered Detroit's image as a model city in race relations and imperiled his own political future, Mayor Kavanaugh concluded that he had been communicating with the wrong blacks. The black leaders on whom he had relied, he blurted out, did not even know the people in the streets. Extremely telling when you think about what could have prevented the uprising in 1967 that perhaps shaped Detroit's future more than any other event. We're live on 12th and Claremont. I'm Randy Wimbley. Huell, Taryn.